Good morning. It is Saturday at 7 a.m. Gray, rainy looking day. I'm about to take my dogs for a bike run. If you have a large breed dog, a young dog, a high energy, neurotic dog, a working breed of dog, you should teach your dog to run alongside a bicycle. Nobody gets a dog thinking to themselves, gee, I can't wait until I have guests come over and I have to lock up my dog in a guest bedroom and hear him crying and whining and scratching at the door the entire time, and I can barely even hear my guest talking. Nobody says to themselves, I can't wait until I have a dog who rushes the thresholds of doors and tries to attack people when they come in with kisses, but it means that every Uber Eats delivery or Amazon package delivery is a nightmare. Nobody says to themselves, I can't wait to chain up my dog in the backyard because we can't manage our dog in the house. What do people envision when they get a dog, especially a large breed dog? They're probably imagining playing frisbee or catch at the park, letting their dog play with other dogs at a dog park, going on road trips. I mean, that's certainly what I envisioned. But the thing is, that doesn't just automatically come. There is no, there are some labs and golden retrievers that I can say are just naturally well regulated. But for the most part, a well socialized, well regulated dog is not an accident. It's the result of the human's efforts. When you do not properly exercise a dog mentally and physically, bad things happen. You come home after a long day of work to find all of your stuff torn up, furniture destroyed, or you'll leave them in the backyard and there will be deep holes dug all over your backyard. If you ignore those very obvious signs that your dog is trying to give you, yelling out for help, saying, please, I'm not getting mental stimulation, then you don't have a pet, you have a hostage at that point. People who don't really understand dogs, they often are under the misapprehension that if they just exercise their dog enough, that will be fine, meaning physical exercise. And there is no amount of running that you can give to a dog that will cure behavioral issues, because it's not a physical thing, it's a mind thing. So your dog has to have opportunities to think. Think about yourself. You've had days when you've done nothing but maybe sit in an office or do nothing but cerebral activities, and then somehow you're still exhausted at the end of the day. Why? It's because mental activity can be just as draining as physical activity. But it's something dogs really need. For yourself, you can spend a day sitting at home, but you can still think a lot because, you probably have your phone, you have TV. Most dogs aren't really capable of watching television. And even if they are, they can't process it in the same way that you can. So what is their television? It's smelling, right? So they come outside and they smell different things. And to me, I do like tons of different physical activities with my dogs that are not only physical but mental. For example, they go once a week to an obstacle course for dogs at the kennel club. They do dock diving. They have surfing class once a month. I'll probably show them eventually. Well, only one of my dogs does it, only this white dog. But there's nothing like teaching your dog to surf or skateboard that will stimulate them mentally, because it requires so much focus. But I am also aware that those things are not easy for everyone to do. Not everyone is near an ocean or a kennel club. And it also requires you to potentially go far from your home. But most people know how to ride a bicycle or can learn easily and can get easy access to, riding a bike. I think it's obvious when you're riding a bicycle where the physical stimulation comes in, right? You can much more easily get your dog to run like 2 or 3 miles running alongside of your bicycle than you can when you are running. Because I don't know about you, but I don't really relish the idea of running for 3 miles. I like bicycling, I like swimming, I like other kinds of activity, but running is not my thing. It's too much pressure on the joints for me. The dogs love it though. On days when I don't have much time, I don't feel like getting sweaty, a bicycle is a great way to condense the time that I have them exercising. But like I said, there's also a mental aspect to it. And that is, if your dog does not focus on that bike ride, he will get hit by the front wheel. He will get, he'll get injured. And it only takes once or twice for your dog to not pay attention to what your front bike wheel is doing, to get too far in front of it, behind it, too far away from it, too close to it. And he will never forget. And that, I know if you have a large dog who's like a little, not very bright or a little neurotic, you might be saying, yeah, you don't know my dog. I have done this with over 100 dogs. I borrow dogs from the shelter who are up for adoption, and we take them out for runs. And I have trained countless dogs to do this in just 2 or 3 rides. And it actually becomes easier to do it the more dogs that you have with you, because the dogs are instinctively running as a pack. And so they kind of want to run in sync with each other. And also, that adds a new level of mental stress for them, because now they don't just have to pay attention to what is my front bike wheel doing. They have to pay attention to what are where are the other dogs aligned in the pack on the run, so they don't run into them. You can teach your dog to run alongside of a bicycle, and most of those behavioral issues will start to disappear. You will see them stop tearing up furniture, stop a lot of destructive behavior, stop digging holes. It doesn't work for every breed, I have to say. Certain dogs are actually bred to dig holes, and if you got that kind of a dog, I mean, it's kind of like you get what you ask for, right? But I would say that unwanted digging tends to reduce when a dog is mentally well stimulated. Another thing is dogs who are constantly trying to escape the home, digging to get out of a backyard. That's a sign of a dog who's not mentally well stimulated. Dogs who are happy and content, when they get home, they see it as it's a treat to be at home, a place they get to relax. And so if your dog doesn't see it like that, they're not out of doors enough, they're not getting mentally stimulated enough, and they also may not be getting enough physical exercise. So again, in that case, you don't have a pet, you have a hostage. You owe it to this pet who did not ask to be here to have a good life. The reason I'm walking the dogs right now is that I want both of them to get out as much pee-pee as they can before we start walking. And I also want to give them a chance to smell. Smelling is like your dog, like you have a TV. Smelling is their interest. And so I'm giving them a lot of chance to smell the world around them, because once we start bike riding, we will not be stopping for smells, and they know it. So this is also a way to kind of break that chaotic energy almost that comes when they first get out of the house. Everything is kind of exciting. If they can spend a few minutes, like a good 5-7 minutes walking, smelling, exploring a little bit, then they are going to be much more focused on their bike ride. The dogs know that we have 2 types of walks. We have what I call a smell walk, which is they get to sniff as much as they want, and then we have a bike ride. A bike ride is targeted, it's focused, it's I am the boss, meaning the human, I am the boss, and you as the dog, you have to get with the program or you're going to get hurt. It's very important that you have both kinds of walks. The smell walk is mentally stimulating for them in a different way. And if you don't do a bicycle walk, if you only do sniff walks, and you're the kind of person who's like, come on, we gotta go. So your dog doesn't get to smell anything. It's kind of like going to the mall and saying, we're not gonna look at any of the stores. We're not even gonna like look in the windows. No, we just gotta walk through. Well, who would want to do that? So yeah, it's like, it's no wonder that your dog is trying to escape from your home. You're not giving your dog anything. Unfortunately, these days there's so much misinformation that goes around about dogs and how to train them, because anybody can call themselves a dog trainer. And having worked for many decades in animal rescue and for shelters, I know that people who are opportunists will say, I'm a dog trainer, and they will take a dog to foster it or take it out for walks from the shelter for their own purposes, to get a video with the dog showing what great dog trainers they are, when all that they're doing is showing a short on TikTok of them getting the dog to sit. Anybody can get a dog to sit when they have a piece of bacon in their hand, and you don't get to see the before and the after. You just see that little short. And if you're not savvy about how dog training works, you might actually say, oh, that looks impressive. And that's how these people who have no qualifications and importantly, they have no skill, they don't know what they're doing, but they still actually get people to pay them. The sign of somebody who actually knows how to train a dog is not somebody who can, with no distractions or stresses, can get a dog to sit for a piece of bacon. That's not the test. The test is, can they get the dog to respond to the dog's name in a high stress environment? And stress doesn't have to be bad. It can just be distractions, such as they're at the dog park with all of their friends and they're having a great time. And there are other noises and maybe dogs barking, or maybe music. Will they come when their owner calls their name? That is the mark of a good dog trainer. But also remember something. It's unfair to expect a dog to do whatever you tell it to do if you don't give it some of what it wants to do and what it needs to do. So this is a partnership. And if you have an idea that I'm the boss and the dog has to listen to me, I mean, I didn't get a dog to be the boss. I got a dog to have a companion. And once we had to take a break because it started to rain. So the bottom line is, my dogs, when I take them home and I go out for the day, they will not view it as a punishment, like I'm leaving them behind. They will view home as a treat. And if your dog is getting enough outside time that is productive and useful to them, mentally, emotionally, physically, they will be the same. They will view it as a treat to be at home and be able to relax on the sofa. And if you've ever used a dog trainer before and you didn't get the results that you want, first of all, the best dog trainer will say that they can't guarantee that they will be able to help every dog, and that's true. But it's also true that a lot of people who call themselves dog trainers just don't know what they're doing. So if you've ever tried a dog trainer and it didn't work, there are things that you can do on your own, and it may take longer than it would take a truly pro dog trainer, but you can definitely get it done. And you can live a happy life with your dog, and your dog can live a wonderful, rich, fulfilled life. And I think that's why most people get a dog.